All right, folks, welcome to another edition of Tiny Talks, where Roc8 Alum presents their learnings from their day-to-day work. So, without any further ado, we'll get things started. Today, we have Khushal Sharma with us, and Khushal is cohort 7 alum, as far as I remember correctly, and he's working currently at Strand. I'll just hand it over to Khushal to introduce himself and start the talk. This is his first talk, so let's cheer him up in the chat. uh, this is a no judgment, this is a safe space. So uh, if you have any doubts in between, just feel free to ask questions, feel free to share it in the chat or raise hands or directly unmute yourself and just basically feel free to stop Kushal in between and ask your queries so that the doubts don't snowball. Otherwise, if you wait till the end, it might just be gone over your head. So yeah, whenever you have a doubt, just ask. All right, we have all the best Kushal in the chat. Let's go, Kushal. Over to you.
Thank you, Swapnil. So, hi everyone, I'm Khushal. As Swapnil said, if you have doubts in between, please feel free to ask. Like I have chat window open on my other screen, so it would be if you can ask from chat also. But if you think I'm not looking at that, yeah, please go and unmute yourself and ask. Right. Let me share my screen and then we can go over it. Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, great. So let's start the today's talk. So my talk is about shipping PWAs as Android app. So I'll just introduce myself. As Swapnil said, I work at Strand. I am from Udaipur, Rajasthan. So if you are visiting here, do let me know. I do kayaking, running, and badminton in my free time. So if you would like to connect on any of the socials about this thing, please feel free. So we are talking about making a progressive web app as an Android app, right? So we have to first understand what is progressive web app. So PWAs are basically just in web app, but it gives a rich experience of a native app. So you can install these native apps in across multiple platforms. So you can install as an app, as an iOS app, Android app, or even a Windows app. So this PWAs have a cross-platform functionality. You can even, to some extent, use an offline capabilities. You can just show some users about offline pages and how do you want to read the data offline. It works on most of devices, as I said. So it works on Android app, Android, iOS, and in web. So Windows. So you can install anywhere. So it works on any device basically which uses modern web browser. Next, let's learn how to make one, right? So basic principle of making an PWA is your web app should be HTTPS enabled. So PWAs are secured by default. So they require your website to be in HTTPS secure. As I said previously, these are cross-platform apps. So the user can see your website or PWA in the Windows from an Android, right? So there are multiple screen sizes, right? So it should be a responsive design so it can fit in any screen sizes. Now, to make one, there are two ways. So the question is if you are starting from scratch or already existing data, right? So for the sake of this tutorial, we'll just assume you know the React, and we'll use React all through the course, all through the talk, right? So if you are starting from scratch, create React apps PWAs starter is a great template. And if you are extending existing app, we'll talk about it in the demo, right? So two main thing about the PWAs are manifest and service worker. So manifest JSON file is just an metadata file for our web app. It includes icon, title name, short description, long description. How do you want to see the app when it shows in the browser? How do you want the title bar to be, etc. And service workers are backbone of the PWA. It helps in offline loading faster, caching the content, and showing etc. stuff. Right. So now that if you have followed those steps, your app will be PWA compatible. But how do you check if it's a PWA compatible or not? So to check your app is PWA compatible or not, what you have to do is you can use Lighthouse in your web developer tools of your browser to check the PWA compatibility. The important thing to note here is that service workers only get activated in the production mode. So you have to build production build of your application. Only then you will see that your app is PWA compatible in the Lighthouse test. So let's do a short demo on how to create a PWA. So first we'll go through the start app making from the scratch, right? As I showed you, Create React app has a template called template CRA, create CRA template PWA, right? We'll use this command and we'll make an app. Equivalent of TypeScript equivalent is this, but right now for the sake of this tutorial, we'll just use JavaScript one. So let me open my Windows tiny docs. So right now there's already one existing folder which is not PWA compatible. Another one I'll make in this app. So I'll just paste the command. So here the first npx is in our package manager. Create React app is in package, which will help us install React app, and my app is the name of project. So we'll edit this name to PWA starter, right? And then there's a template called CRA template PWA. Cool, we'll enter it out. We'll install this stuff and the folders with it. In the meantime, let me show you what the other folder was. So other folder was not PWA compatible, right? So this is a website I made just to demo the already built app, right? So if we open this link, this is just an React app with bit of functionality. This is all. So if you can see, you can inspect it out. We can see Lighthouse. This app is not PWA compatible. I hope most of you knows. I hope most of you knows the Lighthouse is. So Lighthouse is a tool to check your performance of app, check accessibilities, how good your SEO in. So this is a good tool if you want to check how good your app is to users. So sometimes what happens is your app is good on your local host, but when you push it out, the app takes too much time. So it might be server error, it might be your API fetching error, etc. So if it's the case, you can improve your score here. So anything is green is good. For the PWA, says it is not installable. There are something missing, right? Manifest and service worker are missing. So basically, we know that we need manifest service worker for existing app, right? But for the current thing, for the PWA start, I start a template. We don't need it because it is already included in that thing. So let's go to PWA starter. I think it should be installed. Yeah. So this is PWA start. It is open in the VS Code. I hope everyone can see this, right? It's a good font size. So basically, this is an normal created tab. As you can see, this is the logo when we say start. So let me even run the server for you. npm start. Yeah, sure. So black screen for me. Is anyone else seeing black screen? Okay, so can see. Maybe you can rejoin or just unpin and pin. Maybe check. Yeah. So this is an sample created tab. But if you can see, there's one more thing here on the URL title bar, this icon. If you click on it, it will show you install app. So this app is basically a PWA compatible. But let's, for the sake of our confidence, let's just do an lighthouse check. Right? And Ramaling is saying never seen a lighthouse with all three. Yeah, because just text there, nothing else. So if we see the PW is still not installed, so it says still we have a problem. It says no matching service worker detected. We use PW starter template, but it's still showing it's not PW compatible. Any ideas? Anyone in the chat? Surprise test, yeah. Okay, let's get back to the slides. Let's just read the second point. There's no network call there. Network call doesn't need, in the case of PWA, like your web can have no API calls, it's just an static app. Still, you can have a PWA. So, yeah, Rishabh, you are correct. So, as look at the second point, it says that we have to build in production mode to activate the service worker. So, till now, the service workers are not activated. So, if you want to show it as a PW compatible, we have to build our app in a production mode. So let's go to our VS Code, stop the server, right, and open the package.json, right. So skip this thing, dependencies, etc. You'll see scripts, right. So when you run npm start, yeah, so when you run npm start, this script runs in the background. And when you run npm run test, this is to run the back. So if you want to make a production build, you have to run this script, which is npm run build. So we'll just run this script. It will generate a build folder here. And this is what any online hosting platform uses. So if you have Netlify, if you have Vercel, this is what is runs in the background. It takes an command from GitHub or a repository from GitHub, and it runs npm run build command. And whatever comes in a build folder, it just publishes it. So, right. So we'll do the same. I'll just run the terminal again. I'll just run npm run build. So this will generate an optimized production build. As you can see, there's a build folder now. So it'll take some time. Yeah, so it has completed the production, and it says that these are the file sizes. So if you want to load a website faster, we should have to try to keep this one as minimal as possible, right? So for now, we'll just run the server with this command. What we'll do is we'll just write -s and build, right? It will just start a server. It says that my port 3000 wasn't used, so that's why it started a new. It's okay. You can just click on it and it will open a new tab. So as you can see, the port is 35543. So this is in production build. If you inspect it again, go to Lighthouse and analyze page load. It says PWAs are still not available. So it says still no matching service activity. So there was one more catch I didn't told you about. So let's go to VS Code and then see what we are missing. Okay. So in this PWA starter app, we have what we have is new. Let's look at that. First, we in the public folder, if you see, we have manifesto.json. This comes with even you when you create a tab normally. But yeah, for the sake of it, for the sake of knowledge, this is manifesto.json, which is needed for PWS, right? We have it. Good, great. Another thing we need is service worker. So if you go to SRC, you see two extra files: service worker.js, service worker registration.js, right? These two files have an comments and already some content, right? So we are not going to look much into it, but if we go to index.js, you see that service worker registration is imported here, right? All the content of service worker registration is imported here. And if you see, this is the command they've used. Now they have written something here. Let's read it. So they have written, if you want your app to work offline and load faster, you can change this unregistered to register below. And it has some drawbacks extra, but right now for this sake of our talk, we'll just change it to register so that we can have our offline capabilities with PWA. So we had to make changes now. So we have to generate a new build package again. Let's do that. Stop the server. Right. Let's run npm run build again so that it runs a new production build. Okay. And now it has started serving. Let's inspect this thing. Go to Lighthouse and analyze page loop. Yes, Mira, I did prove it. Okay, apart from Mr. watching this, to get in pro mode. We just need to register, change unregistered to register waiver, and then just create a production mode. This is for when you are using create a tab template PWA. But if you are just extending an already existing app, we'll do it right now, right? And just see first this one, and then we'll go with it. So as you can see, this is a PWA installable now. So everything is green. We can go ahead with PWA installability. There's one red thing we can ignore for right now, but we'll fix it in the one we have already tested. Okay. Okay, good. Let me close those things. Great, and then we'll just stop the server. What else we have here? Okay. Fine. So we'll close this window and open a new one. Slash not PWA compatible. So this repository is not PWA compatible right now. And index.js, this is not PWA compatible. And even if you build in production mode, which you can see here, npm run build. Okay. Had created build folder, but we won't be able to install this PWA. So can anyone tell me why we not be able to install this project as a PWA as of current state? No ideas? Okay, you're saying we don't have made changes to register. So let's look at the code once. So we were supposed to make changes in index.js, right? We don't even have this command. That the command we were looking at to make it register. We don't have this command. So first we need to include manifest.json and service worker files, and then we have to add changes in the index.js file to make this as an PWA. So right now, if you look at the lighthouse console, you'll see that it says that there is no manifest, right? And there's no service worker directory. So for that, we'll just do what we'll do is we'll add the old folder, which is PW starter. Yeah, PW starter will add it here in this workspace. So now there are two folders in this workspace. This is a PW start, which has manifest.json, it has service worker registration file, etc. Yeah, mostly we used to do these files. Yeah. So what I'll do is I just copy those three files and then paste in our SRC folder. Right. Paste it here. JS service worker registration. For the manifest.json, we'll move it to public folder. So right now we have made changes, these changes. So if you can see, we have three changes. We have added manifest.json, we have added service worker.js, we have added service worker registration.js. Let's go back to PWA start, and we'll see we have to do one more change, which is in the index.js, right? Firstly, we have to import the service worker registration file. So what we'll do is we'll just copy this line and we'll move it to index.js here. And the next thing is we have to do is register the service worker, right? So if you go, this is service worker registration dot register, right? So we'll just copy it. We'll just move it into the here in the not PW compatible file. And what will happen now? We have made changes in 4 files, and this is index.js, and other are manifest.json and service worker.json. So let's go to manifest.json and see what is there, right? As I said, manifest.json is nothing but a metadata of your app. So the name is React app. We'll just write it as not PWA compatible, right? Simply, we'll name the same to this, right? Their icons, I'm just not creating icon for now, so that we'll skip this part. Otherwise, if you want to add icon here, you can add icons or your icons. Another thing is start URL. So start URL, keep it as right now as dot, or you can just keep it as slash. Right? It will take to your website start. Sometime what happens is you want to create an Android app for let's just say slash dashboard or slash login directly out that. So you can mention that slash login here, then it will just start from there. This property are used in showing your Android devices where you select the theme color. So your browser's theme color can be different, but based on your app's theme color, you can change it to full screen and the browser's theme color will change. So this will happen in the Android app, right? Display standalone is orientation of display. So there can be landscape, portrait, or default controls. So these are the basic files. We have made these changes, so I'll just save it out. I'll just commit it as an Like this is improve. What I did is need app PWA from there, right? So I just commit it out. I'll just do one more thing before that. We'll just check the build version, production version of this thing, and see if it shows us PWA compatible or not. So let's go to npm build. We'll make a new build. Am I going too fast, people, or is it good? Okay. So let's just do serve as build. Paste it out here. Start at the server. Yeah, I'm not able to click it out. So what I'll do is I'll just copy it. I hope this is in production build, new production build. We'll just click on plus. It will just create a new lighthouse report. Okay, thank you. I'll just go in this phase only. So as we can see, this app is now PWA compatible, right? It says it is installable and we can, meet the minimum criteria requirement for PWA. So there's one more thing which we can improve upon this thing. So it says manifest doesn't have a maskable icon. So if you click on this, each error has a documentation about it. The good thing about the Lighthouse report is if you are getting some less score here, right? Let's just say, yeah, we can make directly APK out of this. Yes, we'll see it in the next slide. Yeah. So if you see as if your performance is down and saying that it can be improved, it will just show you documentation for a particular thing. Let's just say it's showing this can be improved, right? So it is showing this documentation for this thing. So Lighthouse report is good in that way. So if we go into that thing, manifest doesn't have a maskable icon, you can just click on it and learn more about it. So these icons are new formatted and ensure your PWA icons looks great on all Android devices. So sometimes we use themes or homepage layouts different in Android. So based on each Android or each brand, sometimes icons are different. Sometimes it's rectangle, sometimes it's circle, sometimes they have a border radius. So if your icons are not maskable, then it might look good on every devices. So you can use maskable app editor to create a maskable icon. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm just set the purpose to maskable to one of my icon and it will support. So if you already think your icon is good, you can just set the purpose here to maskable, right? So let's go to this icon. Thank you. That's a default background of Ubuntu, I guess. Yeah. So we need to add the purpose. So what I have done is I have made a copy of the thing. I have made a copy of this icon and added maskable and any. Okay? So maskable based purpose is serve as some to the Android devices. But if there is any other app Windows or iOS, the purpose any can be used for that. Great. We can create the production build again and then see how it will go. Or maybe you can right now skip this thing because anyway we're going to add it to the Netlify and we'll see that. Okay, sync changes. And just check on GitHub that R is pushed. Why we need maskable and image? It's not necessary to using the same image. I could have used in the different image, but the icon one, if we use the same icon for same size icon for both purposes, it will support. So mostly what happens, 192 into cross 192 size is mostly default size for most of the applications. So if you see any Windows or Windows applications or even Android applications, they use 192 cross 192 size. So I have added there, but there is another icon size is there, which doesn't have any. I could have used any here as for your question. Not necessary to use it. Okay, so we have added maskable icon. I hope this has been pushed. Let's inspect this thing and then go to Lighthouse. Okay, it says multiple tabs are being controlled. So how do I move this zoom thing? Okay, I can. Okay, so yeah, analyze page load. Yeah, thanks, Khushal. So as we can see, it says the app is PWA compatible, and even this thing is this error is gone now, right? So we are our app is PWA optimized and installable. Great. Let's move on to slides now. So this has been done. Let's look at how to make an Android app out of our PWA. So we'll need the help of a smartphone because that's where we got to install an app. So there are two methods to package PWA as an APK. First one is pwabuilder.com. Another one is PWA. So first one, the pwabuilder.com has been created by Microsoft, and in the background it uses bubble wrap as to package them. But if you want a web interface, you can go with the pwabuilder.com, and if you want CLI based interface, you can go for bubble wrap CLI. Right. The important thing to note down here is both of these services require a PWA compatible app web API, right? So we had a PWA compatible URL, right? So this is PWA compatible URL. We have to use this on the PWA builder or bubble wrap CLI to generate in PWAs. Generate in Android APKs, right? So what I'll do is I'll copy this URL and show you a demo of PWA Builder. PWA Builder looks like this. You can start a new PWA from here, and even this has an VS Code extension which you can use to if you are starting from scratch, right? And this has good documentation. If you do not have a manifest service worker, you want to generate it, you can generate it from here. Also, this website gives you a lot of packages once. So it can give you Windows App Store, it can give you an iOS application, it can give you Android APK, and there's something called MetaQuest APK. Must be in something related to VR, Metaverse VR application. So I'm not aware of that. So we'll just paste an URL and click on start. It will run and tell us that what we have. So it says service worker has 2 to 4 things. Security is full and manifest. We have some things which are so we have all the things which are required, and then some recommended thing we still not have. But if you want to edit a manifest, you can here. Otherwise, what it does is, even with this much information, it has generated packages for different stores. So if you want to click on here, and you can see that it has generated Windows App Store. You can click on Android App Store, etc. Right? You can just download an app from here. Then give the information. You want more information? Here you go, and then you can download the package. But right now I show it from the bubble.cli. So let's go learn that first. bubble wrap CLI. So this is command line tool by Google. It is used for packaging PWAs and Android APK majorly. So it can help in Android app bundling, generating APKs, signing the APKs for distribution, etc. The one thing to note down here is when you are generating an APK using bubble wrap CLI, please note down the key store and key password. Our organization had this problem, so that's what I'm telling you. Please note down the key store and key password, because if you need an update your app, right? If you want to update your app, you need the same key store and key password for updating it. So this is where you will need this key store and key password. So let's do a small demo for bubble wrap CLI. Let's go to bubble wrap CLI documentation. So this is a GitHub repository, official GitHub repository, and you can just install the bubble wrap CLI using npmi-g bubble wrap CLI. It's a node package, and as soon as you have installed it, you can just use this command. Here in this command, let me zoom in. Yeah, in this command, you can see this is the bubble wrap command, and we give the flag manifest. In the manifest, we are passing our website / manifesto.json. So how do you get this link? How do you get the link of manifesto.json? So what you can do is click on your app, inspect, and go to applications. You can see application tab. So all the PWAs will have these sections, right? So if you all the PWAs will have manifest and service worker included, right? This is manifest.json. These are the information we are getting, and this is service worker file. So if you click on manifest, you will see a link, blue link here. If you right click on it, it says copy link address. We'll just copy link address, and we'll just run this command. Yeah, I'm not able to click that. Okay, forget it. Okay. So we just run this command. We will open it. I'll just make a new directory here because it will generate an directory. So I'm in the folder PWA not compatible. I'll just do a new directory, mptr mobile app, right? It is space mobile app, and let me zoom a bit on this thing. Right. So what I'll do is I'll just run this command with my website's URL. So if I go to my website's URL, copy the manifest again for the hello set. Copy link address. Paste it out here. So this is linked to my manifest.json, and I'll just do enter. It will initialize and tell me what is the domain name of your application. So if your domain name is / you can just press enter. Otherwise, if you have some other route to give it as a domain name, you can just give it to that, right? I'll just have domain name as /, so I'll just press enter. URL path, same thing as the domain name and then URL path, right? So if you have another path, you can just give it here. Application name, you can write as not PWA or anything else you want to write. I'll just write npwa for now, so that it gives short name. Let me just go with this. Okay, let me just npwa. Application ID. So this is how it will generate the name of package, right? If you have ever went into your Android folder of your file directory, this is how it looks. Most of the application IDs. So I will press enter on this one. So if you want to start a version of it, so by default it says 1. So I'll just go with that. So next thing is display mode. Let's look at this display. First is standalone. Another is full screen, another is full sticky, right? I'll go with the full screen. as of now. And then there's an orientation. Orientation, as we said, we can change the orientation to landscape, portrait, or anything else. I'll go with the default one right now. As in the default, we can change or rotate our screen, and it will automatically understand what the orientation it needs. Right. Status bar color, as we have already added in the metadata, in the manifest, it took as 000. If we have keep there as 1111, it should have taken that. Right. This is splash screen color, so you can keep it as white for now. The icon URL which we have given in the metadata, it will take from here. If you have icons or different out, please mention it here. Maskable icon URL, you can give it here if you have given. So I am right now. What I'll do is I'll just go to here, see manifest, and what was my maskable icon? One of these, right? So what I'll do is just go here and then write I'll write logo 192.png. Okay, just a second. This okay, just 1 second. There's someone on the door. Let me sorry, I'm back. So we'll take icon from here and give it to here. Paste. And then monochrome icon URL, we don't need it. Include support for labeling. No, we don't have it, so it's okay. Request geolocation permission. We don't need a location permission, so no. Now it is asking for key store location. So as I told you, there are two things: key store and key name. So this location by default is in the folder we are right now. So I'll keep it there, right? The name of key store key name is Android by default, so I'll keep it same. So it says that it looks like you are generating this app as first time. Do you want to create a key store? I was like, yes, I do want to. So I just click yes. So it's asking for my first name and last name. I just write Khushal. Organization unit. Yes. Organization. Yes name. Country. I just said IN. Password for the key store. This is where the important point. We have to note down this one. So I'll just write my password right now, and same for password for the key. So there are two passwords. First is password for key store, and another is password for the key. Right. Now that if you see, it has generated lot of files in our folder, right? So if you want to see, I can show it here. Go to code, tiny docs, not PWA compatible, mobile. So these many files have been generated. Now, if you want to generate an APK package, what we have to do is just run bubble refill. It will generate APK, but we just ask key store password. That's what we need to remember. So as soon as I enter the key store password, and if it's correct, it will generate and save the APK. It has generated an APK, it has saved it here. So now that if we go here, You see, it has generated signed APK, unsigned APK, and app release bundle. Let's go to our slides. Next is, let's look at the distribution of this APK. So my method is to upload on the Play Store, but it can be side-loaded to your app. It can be uploaded on the Windows Store, etc. But for the sake of this talk, let's look at how it uploads on the Play Store. So for the uploading the APK to Play Store, you need a paid developer account of Google Play Console. So you have to purchase the subscription. Next is you can use PWA CLI generated APK bundle. I would recommend you to use there are two folders here. Sorry, three things generated: first, second, and third. I would recommend you to use the bundle because it contains a lot of metadata. And if it's not working, then you can go with the signed APK. But in most cases, it will work. Next, you can upload your app to Play Store. When you do first release, open it only for the testers so that you can test it out and check the quality and if there anything is breaking or not. If everything looks good, you can go to release to public. That's it. Thank you so much. Any questions?
Khushal, I have a question. What happens if we open that APK file? Does it open?
It won't open. So it will just open the metadata here. Okay. It won't open the file because
But like
the
if
APK is
we-
not separate.
Like if we open this in an Android phone, then it will open the installation page, right?
Yeah, definitely, yes. That's what I call as side loaded, right? We can side load the app to phone using USB or anything else. But that's a long process, and each person won't do that, right? So you have to build a distribution channel. That's why the Play Store or any other app store or Windows Store, right? That's why.
Hi, Khushal. Vishal this side. Vishal Singham. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay. I just wanted to, you gave the presentation. In your production, while you're working, do you build PWA apps to APK, like Android, or you just build it for web only?
So this is an Android APK, no?
Yes, I know. Means, okay, let me rephrase the question. I know this progressive web application and concept is there from last 5 years. I wanted to know in your production, in your team, do you build progressive web applications to and ship that in iOS and Android, or do you, if the company has an application, they build the using the native tools like Kotlin and other iOS tools?
No, so yeah, let me mention the point. So you are asking that if my organization or me as a team has developed this PWA and shipped it to Play Store. Yes, we have. Not with the native, but with this version. So PWA versions we have done the native version. So let me say why it is useful. So it is useful in mostly three cases. When your primary audience is desktop heavy. So our primary audience is desktop heavy. So we can, work with mobile apps for the static pages and etc. So it's not a problem then, right? Another thing is if you don't have an native Android developer and you want to ship an Android app, that's when it can be useful. Another thing is if you reduce some cost, and it's okay if you are fine with the browser basically. Yeah.
But as you mentioned, the main point is if the users are in mobile, they install your application on desktop, then most of the time you will be shipping it using a PWA.
Yeah, so if you are if your business is Android heavy, let's just say I'm working on Swiggy or Zomato, right?
Okay.
I would like to develop a native or React native application because that will be it will be able to use more Android based APIs, right?
Yes.
And we will be able to use it the fullest. But with native, if let's just say the project I was working on is India biodiversity portal, right? Most of the users submit their biodiversity photos and their readings in species, etc. Right? So if they are doing it from here, it's just a file upload, right? We can do it from desktop or phone. It's fine. So that is not a problem for us, our case. So we just shipped a PWA.
Okay, sure. Thank you for answering.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah, sure, go on.
I have built this PWA earlier, but when I install it on a mobile, right? So there is showed some notification, right? This app runs on Chrome, runs in the Chrome as a notification. So is there a way to get rid of that? Or if I build that app using PWA builder, will that notification go away?
So you are saying you have built in PWA and you just created a shortcut or browser, right?
Yeah, installed on mobile.
Yeah. So as like wrapped it in the bubble wrap package or just
No,
use
just
browser
yeah,
shortcut?
just install.
So I think what I see in my phone, it doesn't show anything like it's just running on browser. To in the notification bar definitely doesn't.
Okay, it shows for me in my
Yeah.
mobile.
So
Yeah.
okay, maybe you can check out or wrap the app in bubble wrap UI and let me know.
Yeah.
Hi, Khushal. I
I'm
have a
not able
question.
to see all the people. Yeah, Mayur.
Yeah, Khushal, what happens is many a times our Chrome pages or Android apps, like since it is a web app, so many of the times, for example, I do not use a tab. It goes into like in a phase that it stops responding. So since you use it like a lot, so is there a way to like keep the app running
So you're
on?
saying for the web browser, you're saying, right? Okay, if you are not using some particular tab, it will just hibernate.
Yes.
Uh, I'm not sure how to like stop it from there because what the Chrome browser engine uses is it's a separate thread for each tabs, right? And it just handles each tab differently. So if there's a way, I'm not aware about it, but if it uses a different thread, we can make our thread run in the background. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Anyone else?
Yeah, Kushal, I have one final question. So
Yeah,
when we
sure.
put the web apps to the APKs, so will there be any security issues that while running on the mobile phones?
What kind of security issue are you having?
So when we actually build the application, we do not consider the mobiles, right? So we directly do it for the desktops. So will there be any security? I'm not aware of that, how the native apps are built. Will there be any issues? That's my question.
See, there can be a security issue if it exists on web also, right? So if there's a security issue of like cross-site scripting if it's in the web, then it will be exist on phone also. But what Google Play Store has given some guideline is now that if you are uploading in PWA, it uses its own framework called as TWA, Trusted Web Apps. So when you upload your app to Play Store, it try to check it out with that thing, and if it passes out, it goes. So if there are any potential issue, open issue, it might be some issue that it might not able to handle, but if there's a common issue, it will be taken. I think TWL, just search for it. Trusted Web Apps.
Oh, thanks. Kushal.
Since web runs in sandbox, right? So we don't have access to the all those memory management and all those low level things in the application, right? So is there a way to get access to that? Device information, OS information.
So I don't think we can access all the APIs, Android APIs using the browser. So basically, it's not on a browser, right? Just a wrapper around that thing. So whatever the browser can access, we can access, like geo permission, etc. But if you want to access context and SMS permission, I don't think you can do it. So there are notification access you can do, location access, mic and camera access, or file upload. These are the basic ones you can use.
Yep.
The
There
other
are still
ones,
limitations for the things which we
yeah,
can do with
definitely,
PWAs, right?
yes, yes. That's
Do
totally
you see
depends on the
the
use case.
technology moving ahead with the to give more permissions to the web apps, PWAs, and all those things?
It comes with a considerable security risk, right? So let's just say if you give a browser permission to app, so it will give you SMS. Sorry, if you want to give a SMS permission to your app, right, which is a PWA, but then you have to give the permission to whole browsers, right? Unless we find a way to somehow separate it out, there will be problems, because otherwise other website can also, they have permission or ask the users to get the SMS, and SMS can have OTPs, etc. Right? If this is permitted to one browser or one app.
Yeah.
So if there's an vulnerability like that, it will be very harmful for users. So unless we separate out the apps API differently, we cannot, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Welcome.
It is not a question, but nice presentation, bro.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
We have a question in the chat.
Kushal, can we also access the local storage from the native side?
Local storage, I think yes, because if it's a browser based, then we can. I have not explored this part, but I think so it should be. Let me check the chat. So Pratmesh, what is a key store? So Pratmesh, key store is basically uh, signing of an application, I guess. So when we want to wrap a APK using Bubble App CLI, it's created signed in and unsigned version, two versions, right? So to sign that version, it sets a key, an encrypted MD5 hash key to the signed version. So it is what a key store is used for. Shows what is the diff of APK size in terms of size, security patch. So yeah, security already we have discussed. So size, I think it's in regular size. I haven't had a chance to develop a normal APK file, so I'm not sure on size comparison. And can you explain what does patch means, like in this particular question?
Like suppose you're having bubble wrap and couple CLI as an writing building, right? So is the like because bubble wrap uses the same underline, it uses the CLI, right? So is there any difference using CLI and using bubble wrap? Like what what bubble wrap gives an extra that we cannot do using CLI or vice versa?
So PWA builders just give us an APK, and this will just give us a APK bundle. So Bubble Wrap CLI is made on definitely for Play Store. The PWA builder is built by Microsoft to empower people to upload apps on Microsoft stores also. So their main motto was that. So if you want to go for Play Store, definitely use Bubble Wrap CLI because it has a bit more function.
Thank you. Yeah, and also very good presentation.
Thank you, Alan. Anyone else? Still you're on mute.
Oops, sorry. All right, folks. Final call for questions. If you have any questions, now's the time to raise your hand. We'll wait for 10 more seconds. If you have a question, just raise your hand and then we'll take all of them. And I see a lot of thank yous in the chat. I really like the fact that it was a very hands-on presentation instead of just text-based one-way delivery. Like a delivery in the sense, there's a lot of feedback loops involved that we could see. You did something, then we saw something, and there was a surprise test. So yeah, I think it was a very engaging presentation. Like I could not like if we hadn't discussed this before, if I was seeing this for the first time, I wouldn't believe that this is the first time you're giving a talk. So kudos, man. I think this was lovely. And you could also see by the audience, right? The audience, I think everyone is still here. It's been more than 1 hour. We planned it to be much more shorter. But yeah, I think this was crazy. I would love to continue these tiny talks, as we call them. So folks in the audience, people who have given talks before, we welcome as well. If you want to give your first talk, I think this is a good space to try it out. Try it out here, then you can go for your city meetups or apply for conference talks. So this is a pretty cool setting, right? It's a online thing. If anything goes wrong, you can just cover your camera, shut down your camera, blame things on the internet, whatever. So this is a pretty safe space to try things out. So if you want to take up any topic next week, just DM me, Twitter, WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, anywhere. All right, folks. Let's do a quick reflection as well. We'll take 1 minute only, 60 seconds. Type in the chat what is your one key main takeaway from the session. This sort of helps you to retain as well. Don't press enter yet. We'll do a waterfall and then we'll end it. Type in the chat, don't press enter. It could be 2 words, it could be 2 lines, it could be 2 paragraphs. What is something that you will take away from this session? It could be something new that you learned. It could be something that you knew but forgot or were just reminded today. Just takeaways. Let's share ours and then we'll read others as well. So this will serve as a nice wrap up, a nice reminder of what we talked about. It also helps to see what other people find interesting. So again, like feedback loops. I love feedback loops. So this is again a feedback loop. We'll wait for 20 more seconds. Type in the chat. And yeah, I see a lot of thank yous. All right, we have something. PW is not that hard. Was procrastinating to learn, but I think I'd give it a try. I think this is pretty cool. All right, let's see it. Let's go. Waterfall 3, 2, 1, go. PWAs are a great fit if target audience is desktop heavy with very least efforts. Easy conversion of existing web app to PWA. I like the idea of creating the APK files from a React code. Estimate time better. Yeah. Bubble wrap. Estimate ka to wo hai na, I think it is something, I think as a developer, we have all accepted it. Here estimates don't matter. Yeah, pretty much add a buffer. So that's fine. Bubble wrap CLI is something new. Very nice. Do try it out, Supriya, after the talk, either sometime this week or over the weekend. I think when you try things out yourself, that's the best way to learn. It's the first time I learned how to create Android app without using Android Studio. Nice. Bubble wrap CLI is the best. PW is a mobile first, so need to think differently, learn so much about PWA, and that too so much hands-on. Fantastic session for a beginner. Yeah, I think hands-on is something that I am also super happy about. So yeah, let's keep the tiny talks going hands-on. If you want to take a hands-on session, DM me. And that is about it, folks. I'll wrap this up and see you next time. Bye-bye.